Since Nick Saban has been the head coach of Alabama, they've only lost 8 games at home under him. And there have only been 3 teams in the last 11 years to beat Alabama in Tuscaloosa. You had Johnny Football, you had Ole Miss in 2015 with Hugh Freeze, and then you had Joe Burrow in that national championship winning LSU team in 2019. Texas, if you think they have a shot at winning this game and you're picking the Longhorns to pull off the upset against Alabama, you're basically saying that you think that Texas is going to be able to make history. Because that's what they would be doing. Nick Saban and this Alabama team rarely lose at home. They're always locked in when they play in Tuscaloosa. You see, Alabama nearly lost to Texas when they were on the road. But Alabama, all their losses came on the road last year. When you're playing Alabama at home, there's a different level of execution that you got to have. And can Texas be able to avoid penalties and avoid having costly mistakes and play their A-plus game? They got one of the best rosters in college football. This offense is freaking talented, and they're stacked at every single position. Their offensive line is phenomenal. They had 2 players who were some of the best at their positions as true freshmen last year. Then you bring in A.D. Mitchell from the transfer portal. You also have Isaiah Nayer, who we didn't even get to see play last year. You got Xavier Worthy. There's too much talent on this Texas offense for Quinn Ewers not to be able to replicate the performance that he had last year and this year's game. Come on, we remember what Quinn Ewers did to Bama in the first quarter last year before he got injured. He was on fire. He was fantastic. Can he come out with that same level of intensity in this year's game? Because they're going to need a superstar performance out of him if they're going to be able to pull off the inevitable. Because let's face it, man, even though Texas has a great roster, when you got to beat Alabama on the road, it's just different. And if Texas beats Alabama, can we finally say Texas is back? Or do we got to wait for them to make it to the Big 12 championship game to say Texas is back? Because beating Alabama would be something worth celebrating if you're a Texas fan. Because not just anybody goes on the road to Alabama and Tuscaloosa and just knocks them off. You got to have a damn good team to beat Alabama at home. And if Alabama loses this game, I don't think, they're falling off. The Nick Saban dynasty is over. No, it's not. If Texas loses this game, I think that there's going to be more pressure on Steve Sarkisian. Because if you lose to Alabama, and let's say you lose in a blowout fashion, then you're going to have Texas fans looking at you saying, damn, man, like, I thought we had a good team this year. I thought that we were actually going to be able to compete with Alabama. We nearly beat them last year. So what happened? Now, if Texas loses by, let's say, 1 possession in this game, rather it be a touchdown or a field goal, I still think there would be a little bit of disappointment. You see, people expect Texas to really be able to go into Alabama and win this game. People think that Texas has the coaching staff, they finally have the defense, and they have a lead offense, and they got a winning formula against Alabama, a team that has some concerns at question mark. Well, some concerns at quarterback, excuse me. Jalen Milroe. People don't really know just how good he really is, and we don't even know if he's the best quarterback on the roster at the moment. For all we know, he could struggle early in this game and get benched. Now, me personally, I like Jalen Milroe. I think he's a fantastic athlete. He's really dynamic, running the ball. Now, as a passer, he can be a little streaky at times, but he has a really strong arm, and he can beat you over the top. I think Texas defensively, they're going to be in for a challenge against this Alabama offense. I don't think this Alabama offense is going to struggle in this game. I think that they're going to be really good running the football. Because not just do they have a lot of good running backs, but Jalen Milroe's running ability is something that you have to game plan also for. And with how good he is at making guys miss, And with that speed, he's going to make guys miss in the open field, and he's going to make guys in the backfield that may end up having tackles for loss look stupid because he's just not an easy guy to bring down. I like Jalen Milroe to have a fantastic performance in this game, but they don't need Jalen Milroe to have a Heisman-worthy performance to beat Texas. They have the highest blue chip ratio in all of college football. They got arguably the best roster in college football, either them or Georgia. They don't need Jalen Milroe to dominate. Quinn Ewers needs to have a better game than what Jalen Milroe has to. Alabama has the home field advantage. Texas doesn't. They got to play mistake-free football, and they got to execute at an extremely high level. You see, if Texas can pull off this win against Alabama, I probably will feel really confident about their chances of being able to make it to the college football playoffs and win the Big 12. Beating Alabama at home is a really big feat that a lot of teams don't accomplish. And if you're able to beat Nick Saban at his own house, I think it shows a lot about how good of a team you have. Think about the teams in the past that we've seen beat Alabama. LSU in 2019 with Joe Burrow, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase. They won the damn championship. 2015, Ole Miss, Hugh Freeze. They were a 10-win team that year. And we already know about the legend of Johnny Football and what he did that season. I mean, he was magic. For you to beat Alabama, not just do you got to have a really good team and really good quarterback play, but you also got to have a little bit of luck on your side also. I mean, these teams just don't beat Alabama just cleanly. Sometimes you need a couple of penalties to go your way. But if you're Texas, you got to make sure that you can win in the turnover department and that you commit less penalties than Alabama. You can't have false start penalties, and you can't get rattled. Last year, when Texas played Alabama in the fourth quarter, I think Texas got rattled. You see, Quinn Ewers, too many times last season, late in games, he got rattled. He's a streaky player. If Alabama's home crowd can get into this game, and let's say Alabama gets out to a 10-point lead, going into the second quarter, and this crowd really gets into it, is Quinn Ewers going to be able to function at a high enough level to be able to lead Texas to the win? It's really hard winning on the road in college football. I really have learned to respect the home field advantage in college football. You got to be a really good team to be able to consistently be able to go on the road and win games. And when you're playing in an atmosphere that is Bryant-Denny Stadium, you got to be able to be on your A-plus game, and you got to be dialed in, and you got to be able to execute. And we've yet to see Texas show us under Steve Sarkisian that they've been able to go in and consistently execute. They were picked to win the Big 12 last year, if I'm not mistaken, and they're picked to win it again this year. But the problem with Texas is the fact that in big moments, they come up small sometimes. Are they going to be able to come up big against Alabama at 7 p.m. Eastern time this Saturday on ESPN as a 7-point underdog? We will see. But if Texas wins this game, oh my God, the hype for them is going to be at an all-time high. And I think you really are going to have to take them serious and view them as a team that possibly could win it all. But if Alabama wins this game, oh my goodness, it kind of would be them making a statement, would it? Because it seems like people are starting to count out Nick Saban now. You know, I know you guys have seen your fair share of people talk about how the quarterback position is at probably the worst state that it's been in a very long time. I mean, they had Bryce Young, Mac Jones, Tua, Jalen Hurts. They had a very great stretch of quarterbacks. And now you kind of have a lot of uncertainty. But if they can win this game and they kind of beat Texas emphatically, I think that a lot of people are going to start saying, uh-oh, maybe we underestimated Alabama. Now, if Alabama wins this game close, I don't really think a lot of people are really going to give Alabama a lot of props because Texas has a lot to prove in this game. You see, if Alabama wins this game, then people are going to say, well, they were supposed to beat Texas. You know, Texas is overrated like always. But if Texas beats Alabama, they're going to get more props because they've been down for so long that the expectations is that they're not supposed to be able to win games like this. So Nick Saban, if he's able to lead Alabama to the win in this game, I'm going to say that I probably like their chances of being able to win the SEC. I think that Texas is a really good team. And I think that Texas is probably going to be playing in the New Year's Six bowl game this year. I think they probably win 10 games. And possibly the Big 12. Hell, maybe they could get into the college football playoffs with just one loss. But them beating Alabama will hold way more weight for them than Alabama getting the win over Texas. Let's just be honest about it. You guys aren't really going to care too much if Alabama beats Texas. You expect them to beat Texas. People think Texas can beat Alabama, but even then, it's just in games like this, so many times over the last couple of years, Texas has fallen flat. But I think that if Texas wins this game, I think it'd be fair to say that they possibly could be back. But we'll see.